when they bring us into pre-production, it makes a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
You get a different perspective. And not just for, hey, I have a green screen and I want it to look good. Okay, let us be there and set it up. And I'm very particular about how I want my green screen set up and how I want them lit and all that stuff. And especially driving shots, very particular about driving green screens because they're hard to make look good. But I was on a show that was based off of, it was a movie. It was based off of a book. And in the book, some supernatural things happen that no matter how good they look in real life, your brain is going to know it's fake. And they're always going to they're going to blame the VFX. Oh, the VFX look terrible. This thing can't really happen. I'm like, no matter what, if this happened in real life, it just wouldn't look real.
Even if it's a practical creature, it's going to trigger that uncanny valley and it's going to throw you off.
And this was people kind of like hovering over the ground. Unless there's a supernatural element, like forcing it to happen. And, there's a magic element of like, okay, I'm making you levitate. Having people just hovering and levitating is never going to look real. Plus it's with extras and you have to deal with just balance, gravity, and like, how do your feet land? Are they dangling or are you on
like an invisible platform kind of thing?
Yeah. So in pre-production, we talked a lot about it and we decided to eliminate that level of the supernatural part. It didn't serve the story enough. It was okay to take it out. But then as we're shooting it, one of the executive producers, who's kind of a big name on the project, comes over to me and he's like, we're going to make some of these people like hover and everything, right? And I'm just like, oh, we can talk about it. So that was where I was kind of stuck in the middle between producer and VFX supervisor, because I'm creative, but I also know the production side has already decided to nix it.
Yeah.
But I can't say that to this actor, executive producer in the moment, who's literally about to go act in a scene. And it's very, So sometimes I've had to, if I'm playing both roles, I've had to have, kind of a backup back in the office who can play the producer side for me. And I'll message them and say, hey, just so you know, this is happening. This is the stance we have to take because of budget, but I can't really say that directly to a director. The director has nothing to do with budget and would be offended if I started talking budget most of the time. So sometimes I have to have someone back in the office kind of be my producer, heavy weight.
Something that I run into myself where maybe I overthink something or I think it too technically in certain respects, and I try to make something look real. And I've gotten it looking how it would look in real life, and I'm psyched with it, but it doesn't look cinematic now. Yes. How do you balance that one where maybe it should look fancy or bigger, but in real life, it doesn't look like that in real life at all?
It hurts, but you have to let it go.
Yep.
The creative vision needs to be better. This happens. That's a really common thing. And that's a great point to bring up that I never hear anybody talk about. We'll take reference. A lot of times, especially as we're training artists to have the vision for realistic, because I do a lot of more of the realistic stuff, less of the CG. And I'll find a reference and I'll say, look at this photo in this background, it's real. But you can go outside and you can see the clouds, and the clouds look fake all the time. And we always joke about, clouds with dark outlines. I'm like, I would have rejected that if that was a shot that came my way.
Yeah.
So you can start with realistic and, make sure all your levels are balanced and your grain and everything is looking right. But ultimately, if it's not pretty enough, it's not cinematic enough. That's a great point. You just have to let the reality go, but without it looking broken. That's the trick, which we face all the time. That's such a good point.